life.
ඇත්ත කෙටියෙන් දත්ත වැඩියෙන් සයිබර් අවකාශයේ කළඹන වුවත් සලකුණ News First YouTube චැනලය අදම සබස්ක්‍රයිබ් කරන්න. News First ජනතාව සමග.
News First News Alert ඔබේ ජංගම දුරකථනයටත් ඔබ ඩයිලු පාරිභෝගිකයෙක් නම් English Alert සේවාව ලබා ගැනීමට NFU ලෙසත් Singlish Alert සේවාව ලබා ගැනීමට NUS ලෙසත් Tanglish Alert සේවාව ලබා ගැනීමට NAT ලෙසත් ටයිප් කර IC78ට සෙන්ඩ් කරන්න. News First ජනතාව සමග.
A very happy new year to all our viewers and welcome to a brand new edition of Primetime News on this very first day of a brand new year. I'm Arundhati Mudannaika. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines.
The world celebrates the new year. In the new year, hope to amend several sections of the Social Security tax. Discussions will be held on the payee tax tomorrow. A statement by State Minister Ranjit Simbalapitiya. A fresh mandate required to develop the country. SJB issues a statement. Will trains stop operating from tomorrow after retirement of a group of employees? 30 trains cancelled today. No need for electricity tariff hike. PUCSL chairman repeats. Kanjipani flees to India after being released on bail. Indian intelligence reports. Online protest demanding release of Vasantha Mudalige.
And now the stories in detail. A new year has dawned and this is News First hope for Sri Lanka in this new year.
Sri Lanka welcomes a brand new year as its commitment to uplift ourselves out of the difficult present and into a vibrant future. Sri Lanka is also united in renewed hope and a renewed resolve, a hope for opportunity and equality, and a resolve to build a future clean of corruption and incompetence. Parents want what is best for their children. Children want to feel safe and happy. The youth want their voices to be heard and their talents to be given a chance to shine. And this is possible because we are Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka isn't just another country with a history of a few hundred years. Sri Lanka is a civilization that dates back thousands of years. We have a rich culture and a deep national consciousness. It is the silent force of this heritage that remains our strength to this day. Take the example of our ancient hydraulic systems, the Sri Lankan Vava. Nowhere on earth would one find such magnificent man-made systems that continue to serve mankind thousands of years after they were built. While the world has woken up to sustainability in the 21st century, the Sri Lankan civilization itself was founded on the concept and philosophy of sustainability. But sadly today, we have lost our way and don't fully understand the true impact of our own philosophy and heritage. As a nation, we must first master our water resources. We must go back to our roots. We must resist all attempts to cede control of any of our natural resources, especially water. We must remember that while we may be a small island, we are a big nation. The Sea of Sri Lanka is over 8 times as large as our landmass. Sri Lanka has such a rich diversity in its geography and biology. Our shores are not the same. Each of our forests and jungles are unique. Our mountains are shrouded in mystery, and we share this land with thousands of other living beings that are also custodians of this magical island. It is such a magnificent nation that today is on her knees, that is before the world, with a begging bowl in hand. But on this New Year's Day, it is more important to contemplate on how we can as a nation rise up and face these challenges, because it has always been and always will be the people of this country who have ultimately stood up and saved this nation. Let's always remember that we, the people of Sri Lanka, are a free people. They are not enslaved. We are not beggars. And together, the people will take back this country and carry her to its fullest, truest potential. A vibrant, beautiful, prosperous, happy nation. The Sri Lanka we all hope for and will work for. Happy New Year, Sri Lanka.
But 2023 has dawned, bringing new hope to Sri Lanka and the world. Even in crisis-struck Sri Lanka, people celebrated the dawn of the new year in hope of a prosperous year ahead.
The Colombo night sky was lit up with a glamorous fireworks display from the Lotus Tower. Various activities have been organized to welcome the dawn of the new year. Scores of people gathered in Colombo to celebrate New Year's Eve. Foreign tourists in Sri Lanka also joined in on the celebrations. The Paritrana Dhamma program, organized to invoke blessings on the people of Sri Lanka, was held overnight at the Independence Square. Sri Lankans engaged in religious observances since this morning. Catholic devotees celebrated midnight mass to welcome the new year. Muslim and Hindu devotees also engaged in religious observances.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe in his New Year message says that 2023 will be a critical year in which we plan to turn around the economy. The President says that he believes that we have already gone through the worst of these times. The President's message further says, quote, 2023 is also the 75th year of independence from the British Empire. Looking back, it is obvious that we have not done as well as other ex-colonies, unquote. In his message, President Wickremesinghe says that the youth are calling for a system change and this cannot be ignored. Issuing a message to mark the new year, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said, while 2022 was difficult for most people, Sri Lanka welcomed the new year with a commitment to build a better country, even in the face of numerous challenges. The Premier called for active engagement for development in all spheres prioritizing food security and rural economic revival in particular. In his message to mark the new year, leader of the opposition Sajith Premadasa says that he strongly believes steps must be taken this year to normalize the abnormal state of governance in the country. The opposition leader said people of Sri Lanka cannot continue to be burdened by failed governments, and a new program that can and will take the country towards a new path must be implemented.
The government movement takes this opportunity to wish all Sri Lankans a prosperous new year. The government movement, which has spearheaded development work in rural Sri Lanka for over a decade, is well aware of the hardships faced by the people. Gammadda understands the needs of the people. Each and every day, Gammadda took steps to help ease the burden on the people of rural Sri Lanka. While welcoming the dawn of a new year, when looking back at the lives that Gammadda has touched, it's plain to see that much has been accomplished. Gammadda successfully put a smile on the faces of over 1 million Sri Lankans last year. We are humbled and grateful to everyone who extended their support to the Gammadda movement over the past year. You are the force that drives us forward. We hope to continue our service to the people of rural Sri Lanka with greater vigor in the year 2023. Gammadda, with the people, for the people.
Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Weerasinghe, spoke about the goals for the year 2023. He made this statement during a visit to Kandy today.
We hope that this year we will get rid of these economic difficulties and come to a stable condition, and to further stabilize the country's economy. Especially, the central bank's responsibility is to control inflation. We are already seeing a rapid decrease in inflation. This year, we hope to further reduce inflation and further decrease the country's interest rates and strengthen the foundation of the country's economy.
Parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva says that the government needs a new mandate from the people to revive the country in the new year. Here are some of the views expressed about the crisis in the country and proposed political solutions.
This is an issue created by the political group headed by Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Now Gotabaya Rajapaksa is seen on the news touring Dubai with his family. The people in the country that he bankrupted are suffering without a meal to eat. For the country to be revived, a new government that has the confidence and acceptance of the people must be established. We will do what we must do for the country. We do not need ministerial portfolios. We have shown how we can work while being only a member of the opposition without a ministerial portfolio. If we are given the steering wheel, we can take the country forward.
What is the governing party, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, saying?
We are not the people who conduct the election. The election is being held by the Election Commission. No political party can influence the Election Commission. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was the first party that said that local government elections must be held. We are a party that appreciates the multi-party democratic system in the country. Public representatives must take over the responsibilities of local government bodies. We do not like to see responsibilities of public representatives being exercised by officials.
The National People's Power says that a government cannot remain in power for long without a mandate of the people.
We challenge the government to hold the big test. We are ready to face it, but they are afraid to even hold the local government election. The Election Commission is not confirming the date of the election, and they keep dragging it on. The government is trying to somehow cheat and postpone the election. No matter how much of military power they have, no matter how much of financial strength they have, They are scared of the power of the people. Ranil and the Rajapakshas don't have any mandate of the people, and this is clear when you go to the grassroots levels. Without public trust, you cannot continue to sit in the president's seat using the power of weapons for long. For the first time in history, people learnt it from Gotabaya Rajapaksa. No ruler can stay in power without the people's support. We have proven that from the experience in our own country. Therefore, the day when they will have to let go of this power and leave is not too far away.
Do not give false promises to the people of this country. From the day that you took power, you have given the people false promises. Hold a general election. Do not try to protect your positions and power. Think about the people of our country. The people who worked for you, died for you, went to jail for you and lost their property for you. These people had faith in you, and that is why they brought you to power. But when you rose to power, the people's lives went to the dogs. We were left helpless. We didn't have anyone. You are well-seasoned politicians. You don't even go to a church, temple or kovil. All the 225 do not have a religion. They are lying. They fool the people. Please listen to us. If not, hold a general election or a presidential election and leave.
Railway trade unions point out that the recent retirement of many employees at the railway department has hampered operations.
Nearly 30,000 government employees retired yesterday, and railway unions say that 500 of them are in the railway service.
More
than 500 employees of the railway department retired, and we have felt the severe impact of this today. Yesterday, 44 train journeys were cancelled. So far, 7 trains have been cancelled. As of this evening, it will be twice or thrice as much. This will have a severe impact on commuters who will travel for work starting from tomorrow. Although new station masters have been recruited to overcome the shortage of station masters, the approval of the positions has not been done since 2013. Because of this, we will have to close down the Matara and Beliatta railway stations in the coming days.
The railway department has, however, been allowed to keep 300 employees who have completed 60 years of age in service based on service requirements. That is subject to the recommendations of the committee headed by the Prime Minister's Secretary and the President's Secretary. The Railway Department said that these employees are working on contract basis. Among the people who rejoined the service due to service requirements are train drivers, assistant drivers, controllers as well as technical staff. However, when we inquired, a spokesperson to the Ministry of Public Administration said that when retired government employees with special skills are rehired on contract basis, they will be entitled to both pension and the newly contracted salary.
Chairman of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, Janaka Ratnayaka, says there will be no electricity tariff hike in January as proposed.
A strange fact of this, the proposal is that they are trying to increase the tariff of the low user categories. This may be based on the wrong recommendation that the Cabinet can bypass PUCSL Act and decide tariff under the general policy guidelines. And at the moment, I need to tell the consumers of electricity that there is nothing to worry about this, and there will not be any increase as everybody proposed in the month of January. We need to consider this, we need to analyze this, we need to go for public consultation. When all these things happens only, we can look at probably another tariff hike. But as we think at the Commission at this moment, we don't think that we need any tariff revision, because with the given tariff revision in August, CB is making operational profits. And in order to cover their losses during the last few years, and maybe to purchase oil and fuel for the future requirement, I don't think that we can increase tariff and charge the customers, especially the low-income categories who are using less than 90 units, according to the proposed Cabinet memorandum.
A campaign to collect the signatures of 6.9 million people against the increase in electricity tariffs was carried out today opposite the Matara Bodhiya and at the Matara bus depot. This was organized by the Electricity Consumers Association and the National Committee for Energy Conservation.
The minister is trying to spend 4 billion rupees on oil this year. This minister, who is craving for oil, is now trying to rob even from electricity. Therefore, we are signing this petition against the minister who is trying to ruin our electricity supply this new year. Therefore, we are not just signing a petition, we are requesting all electricity consumers not to pay the outstanding bills if the prices are increased. If this price is increased, we will launch the national campaign to refrain from paying electricity bills. We need the support of all the people.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitiya said there's hope to make amendments to some sectors of the Social Security tax. He expressed these views while attending an observation at the office of the Excise Department in Ambilipitiya.
Many people found errors in the Social Security tax. I too believe that it is not good. In 2023, we hope to remove certain sections of the Social Security tax.
The State Minister also said there will be a discussion regarding the issues raised with regard to the pay tax on the 2nd of January.
The first discussion that was scheduled with the Treasury is regarding this pay tax. We have given them a date for discussions with us on the very first date available. We are flexible. Our responsibility at the Ministry of Finance is to look at the entire community, ensure that everyone survives and come out of this crisis with the least amount of pain.
The road leading from Madampe Junction in Ratnapura to Gaul through Deniaya is being renovated. The Rakwana Heritage Protection Organization says that a sensitive ecosystem is being damaged during the renovation of a section of this road running from Rakwana to Suryakanda.
The renovation is being carried out along the A17 road. A section of the road that runs through the Rakwana Forest Reserve is being renovated these days. This is how a considerable amount of trees on either side of the road were destroyed.
මාර්ගයේ දෙපස ඊටාම දර්ශනීය දියඇලි ගණනාවක් සහ දිය කඩਿති ගණනාවක් පවතිනවා.
There are several scenic waterfalls and waterways on either side of the road. If the forest is destroyed, the waterways may dry up in the future. If the side of the road is cleared to widen the road in the sensitive hilly area with a steep slope, it may lead to a landslide in the area as well.
නායම් වැනි දේවල් පවා මේ ප්‍රදේශයේ ආශ්‍රිතව සිදුවෙන්නට පුළුවන්.
While this is the view of environmental organizations, area residents say the renovation activities must continue.
Fixing the Rakwana Deniaya road is a dream of the people. Rakwana has many water bodies. There is an opinion that pine forests deplete underground water. Therefore, it is appropriate that the pine forests are being cleared for construction of this road.
News First contacted the project director, I.K. Baddegama, regarding the allegations of environmental destruction. He said it is important that the project is expedited, as this is the only A-grade road that has not been developed. He added that 2/3 of the trees that are being removed for the project are pine and acacia trees. The project director said a project to plant trees in place of those that are uprooted is being implemented together with the Department of Forest Conservation. People in Telhavadigama, Uwaparnagama Badulla wonder day and night as to when this severely dilapidated road leading up to their village will be renovated. This road has been like this for quite some time now. The locals here say that even though responsible officials have been informed of this situation, there has been no response. Due to this situation, more than 1,000 farming families are suffering.
There are 3 culverts here. They are damaged. If they built this properly, then we would not have to suffer. Now the Sinhala and Tamil New Year is coming. We have come to a point where we cannot take the vegetables grown by the farmers to the economic centers at the right time. Now if a wheel comes at night, 3 or 4 people will die here. Venerable Theros cannot go to collect alms. The authorities should come here and look at this. They come here only to collect votes.
The only request of these people is to have their road renovated, at least in the new year.
United States Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, says the US has provided Sri Lanka over $240 million in new assistance in 2022.
US Ambassador to Sri Lanka Julie Chung has recalled a multitude of ways the US and Sri Lanka have come together in 2022 to make a difference. Taking to Twitter, the ambassador said that in 2022 alone, the United States has announced more than $240 million in new assistance to Sri Lanka. She said the new assistance supports basic food security and addresses the needs of the most vulnerable communities, including funding for school lunches, fertilizer for smallholder farmers, and cash assistance for new and expectant mothers. She added, quote, "We are also supporting loans, training and assistance for small and medium enterprises in Sri Lanka as they face the heaviest burden in times of crisis. This assistance is on top of our existing development partnership working with the government, the private sector, civil society and the people of Sri Lanka," unquote. The ambassador said the relationship between the two countries, however, is much bigger than just about assistance. It is about partnership. Ambassador Chung said 2022 has been an unforgettable year and said she is hopeful that 2023 will bring economic recovery, lasting change and new opportunities to the people of Sri Lanka.
Minister of Health Keheli Rambukwala said stocks of drugs that are in short supply in the country will be fully replenished by the next quarter of this year.
The views expressed in the society is that we have brought substandard medicine and various other things. We are stopping some of the tenders that we gave. We discussed about tenders for 183 types of medicines. We got only 3. Pupudu Jagoda is saying that I am scaring them, saying that we have debts. Is he expecting me to say that we are not in debt? If we act according to what these people are saying, we will have a short supply of about 200 to 300 medicines. I will guarantee one thing. I will ensure that there will be no shortage of medicine by the end of the next quarter. This medicine shortage will be ended by the next quarter. I am thankful to the cabinet and the president for that.
ඊගාව කාර්තෝ වෙනකොට මොකද මට කැබිනට් එකට මම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා ගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමාට ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා කියන්නේ පොදු ජයගොඩ මහත්තයා කරන්නේ කියන්නේ බොරු කියලා ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ නෑ කොන්තරත් එකක් එන්න ඕනේ.
The Education Secretary of the Frontline Socialist Party, Pupudu Jagoda, responded on social media to the statement made by the Minister of Health.
පළවෙනිම කරුණ තමයි ලංකාවට 2022 වසර සඳහා සහ 2020
Firstly, it was because of the government that the country lost the opportunity to bring the medicine that Sri Lanka needs for the first and second quarter of this year. The Ministry of Finance did not allocate money to bring down the medicine, and it was the government that created this medicine shortage. Therefore, they cannot create the issue and then take credit for finding the solution. Secondly, it's been about 7 to 8 months since we got the credit line from India. They did not make any attempt to purchase these medicines during this time. Even when the COPE committee in Parliament said that these purchases are delayed, they did nothing. Now, when they suddenly try to make emergency purchases at the start of the month of December, it is clear that there is an underhand deal here. The government must be held responsible for the medicine shortage. Keheli Rambukwala, the president and the former health ministers must be held responsible for this. It's been about 6 months since the president took office as well. Why didn't they take steps to bring down the medicine during this time period? This is the same game that they use, be it medicine, coal or something else. First, they delay the procurement and create a shortage in the market. Then they scare the people speaking to them about the shortage and call for unsolicited bids.
හිඟේ ඇති වුණාට පස්සේ හිඟේ ගැන කියලා බය කරලා unsolicited එහෙම නැත්නම් ටෙන්ඩර් කැඳවීමකින් තොරව මේවා කැඳවනවා.
News First with the people.
Notorious underworld gangster Kanjipani Imran
Rameswaram, days after his release on bail by court. Rameswaram is a town on Pambam Island in the southeast Indian state of Tamil Nadu. According to the report, the Tamil Nadu intelligence has sounded an alert to senior police officers across the state to mount vigil along the coastal districts and look for him and his associates who landed along the Ramanathapuram district coast on the 25th of December. The Hindu reported, quoting the source, the state intelligence has a specific input from central intelligence agencies and reliable sources that Imran was planning to enter India after his release on bail. The information was that he left the court in disguise and moved to Thale Manar, from where his associates were making arrangements for his infiltration into India. The report added, quote, the entry of Imran into Tamil Nadu gained significance in the backdrop of the National Investigation Agency exposing an international drug cartel involving Sri Lankan nationals operating from the special camp in Tiruchi that houses foreign nationals facing criminal charges, unquote. Commissioners and superintendents of police, particularly in the coastal districts, have been alerted to enhance surveillance at vulnerable locations and activate their intelligence machinery to trace the suspect.
University students and supporters of the Aragalya celebrated the New Year differently. Instead of posting New Year wishes on their social media, Platforms call for the release of Vasantha Mudalige.
University students, social media activists, supporters of the Aragala and others posted pictures of the convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation, Vasantha Mudalige, on their social media accounts, including Facebook and WhatsApp. They called for his immediate release and added that the year 2023 will also be a year of the Aragala. They had posted on their accounts that they will not stop fighting until political prisoners, including Vasantha Mudalige, are released and the Prevention of Terrorism Act is abolished.
Pope Francis has led tribute to his predecessor Benedict XVI, who died at the age of 95 yesterday. The Pope said Benedict had been noble and kind and gifted to the Roman Catholic Church. US President Joe Biden and King Charles III are among dozens of leaders to praise the former pontiff.
Recalling spending time with Pope Benedict at the Vatican in 2011, US President Joe Biden said that he would be remembered as a renowned theologian with a lifetime of devotion to the Church guided by his principles and faith. In the UK, the new monarch, King Charles III, said that he received the sad news of the former Pope's death with deep sadness. Sending a message of condolence to Pope Francis, he highlighted Pope Benedict's constant efforts to promote peace and goodwill to all people and his actions to strengthen bonds between Catholics and Anglicans. The body of former Pope Benedict XVI will lie in state in St. Peter's Basilica tomorrow and remain there for 3 days before his funeral, which is set for the 5th of January. Until early Monday morning, Pope Benedict's body will remain in the small monastery within the Vatican where he lived. No official visits to see the body or public prayers will be held during this time. On Monday, it will be moved to St. Peter's Basilica where the public can view the body on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th of January. Pope Benedict's funeral will be held on Thursday, the 5th of January in St. Peter's Square in front of the Basilica. The ceremony will be presided over by Pope Francis. A Vatican spokesperson said that following the wishes of Pope Benedict, the funeral would be simple, solemn and sober. According to foreign media, the Vatican has said papal funerals typically draw heads of state from around the world, but official delegations will come only from Italy and from Pope Benedict's native Germany, suggesting the event will be relatively low-key. The diplomats were told representatives from other countries or organizations can attend in a private capacity. The Vatican said that after the ceremony, Pope Benedict's body will be taken inside St. Peter's Basilica and buried in the Vatican grottos beneath the church, where more than 90 popes have found their final resting place.
Anita Pointer from the Grammy-winning Pointer Sisters has died aged 74.
At the KTN, Datta Radiant, Cyber
Anita
Avakashe
Pointer died
Kalabana,
surrounded by her family at her Beverly Hills home in California.
Newsfirst,
Her family in a
YouTube
statement
channel
said they were deeply
Adama,
saddened by her
subscribe
passing.
karanna.
The statement reads,
Newsfirst,
"Heaven is a
channel
more
Tava
loving,
Samana.
beautiful place with Anita there." The second
Newsfirst
oldest of the four
news alert
sisters,
ඔබ
Pointer and her
චන්ද්‍රමුදුර
siblings
කතනයට
rose to fame
ඔබ
with hits
ඩයිලොග්
including
පාරිභෝගිකයෙක්
Jump
නම්
for My Love and
English
Fire
alert
with a
සේවාව
blend of
ලබා
funk,
ගැනීමට
soul and
NFU
R&B.
ලෙස
The group
Singlish
released
alert
their
සේවාව
eponymous
ලබා
debut album
ගැනීමට
in
NUS ලෙස
1973.
Tanglish alert
Yes,
සේවාව
we
ලබා
can
ගැනීමට
A funky tune
NAT
which
ලෙස
called for
ටයිප්
unity and
කර
tolerance at a time of racial
සේව්
unrest in
කරන්න.
the US became the album's breakout hit. In 1975, their hit song Fairy Tale won a Grammy Award for Best Country Vocal Performance. The win remains a rarity in a category dominated by
News First. ජනතාව සමග
And in sports news, the stadium where Brazil soccer great Pelé played some of the best matches of his career will also hold his funeral tomorrow and on Tuesday.
Santos, the club where Pelé played in Brazil, said in a statement, the public will be able to pay their final respects at Vila Belmiro Stadium in the state of Sao Paulo. Pele died Thursday after a long battle with cancer. He was 82. His casket will be carried through the streets of Santos and will pass in front of the home of his 100-year-old mother, Celeste. The burial will take place at a vertical cemetery in Santos. Only family will attend. Pele led Brazil to World Cup victory in 1958, 1962 and 1970 and remains one of the team's all-time leading scorers with 77 goals. Neymar tied Pele's record during this year's World Cup in Qatar.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.